Hey y'all, it's Danielle, the Blissful Oracle, and welcome to my channel. I am super stoked today. I am going to share with you my year in the WildWood study journal. This video has been a long time coming. All the links will be down below, by the way. I'm sure y'all are going to ask me, where'd I get this? Where'd I get that? It's all in the comments, I promise. I really shouldn't say that this video is a long time coming, but it feels like it. I actually first purchased the Year in the WildWood Tarot deck back in, I think it was May or June of 2021. And this is, well, I'm filming this March of 2023. I was surfing TarotTube, and one night I saw Yorshi's channel, and it was a live stream with Richie from Longman Tarot. There was Tarot Stash, and then April from Tarot and Witchery, and they were live streaming that they were going to create a WildWood study group, if you will, here on YouTube. And I was like, that's perfect. I mean, I knew the deck was a different system and I wanted to get to know it, and I think a year-long study is the way to go. I also admittedly had purchased a Year in the WildWood book some time ago. But I think this holds me more accountable for doing the work. And you can see right there, that was my temporary journal. So even though I didn't have the journal that I'm setting up right now in my hands, I had been doing the work. For instance, the candle that you saw me lighting at the very beginning of this video, that candle I made with my grandsons. We actually made a whole bunch of candles. We also took some time to learn how to weave a St. Bridget's cross. We definitely were celebrating in bulk the very 1st of February. Now, there is a video prior to this video that you may want to watch. It includes an introduction to the Year in the WildWood, the book, the study group that's happening here on YouTube. I talk about my desk setup. That includes this desk mat that's underneath my journal, which is the Tree of Life. I talk about the other decks that I've decided to use. I do a little talking about journal perfectionism, which you can see right here. This was the toughest spread to put together in this journal, which was my WildWood deck interview. I probably should have made these cards just a tad bit smaller, but again, if you want to know how I made these, that's in the prior video. I'll just briefly talk about some of the supplies that you see on my desk here. Now again, the cards and the titles are printed on sticker paper. All the washi that you see me using in this particular video is from my personal stash. I can't tell you where I got it. I wouldn't say that I'm on a no-buy this year, but I am trying to use a lot of my resources that are already available in my house. I'm a decorative planner, I am a scrapbooker, so I have a lot of washi hanging around. And I especially couldn't believe some of the washi that I found that's so perfect for this journal. That washi that you see right there is it's little foxes running through the woods. And again, you're gonna see some amazing washi that, again, just is so perfect for the colors. I did do some color saturation on those before I printed the cards, and I just love the way it's coming all together. I am using my Tombow tape runner there to tape down any of the art. Of course, I have a nice sharp pair of scissors over there, and I have my corner rounder, and I will be bringing in a small guillotine paper trimmer. That one, again, I've had for probably 15 years. I bought it at a creative memory retreat, and it's just perfect to do small little trim jobs. Okay, I finally have decided on the layout you can see here, and I am putting more of that cute little fox in the wood washi tape down. I also bring in another washi tape in a few minutes, and that includes again, it just comes together so perfectly. Oh, there's one other thing I have on my desk here that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is a paint scraper. I don't think it's called a paint scraper. I think it's a painting knife or a paint knife or a palette knife, I think is what its technical term is. I just remember when I started doing decorative planning, I was following this YouTuber and she was like, one of my must-have tools, and honestly, I didn't use it. However, I have found a use for it here, and that is to help just push down the washi tape or anything that's underneath the item. I've just been using it, and it gives it a nice clean stick, if you will. I also use it on another page that's coming up here, and that's when I'm doing a tip in. So inquiring minds want to know, are you doing a year in the Wildwood, or are you just Wildwood curious? I'd love to know in the comments, do you have the deck? Have you worked with a deck? Are you curious about the study? Do you think you could make it a whole year? So many questions. Now, I've committed, obviously, a lot to this project. And really my hopes are that after I get the momentum going with this, perhaps I could do a holo quest. Just like my purchase of the WildWood Tarot, I also purchased a vintage copy of the Arthurian Tarot, and it actually came with the holo quest book as well. So it's definitely on my list. We'll see what happens. But really, these videos are about me bringing you along the journey and me committing to doing the entire year in the Wildwood. Honestly, after looking at the book and putting together my supplies, I have to say I'm pretty committed and I'm pretty stoked about doing this work. I'm always trying to set myself up for success. I'm just such a proactive versus reactive person. And I knew if I was going to do this, that I wouldn't have time to print out, one card every week. Now, no one has to go to the extent of journaling that I am doing right here. I just wanted to make it fun, as well as, it's my creative outlet, if you will. In fact, I said I'm a scrapbooker, but I'm no longer a scrapbooker. I'm more of a memory keeper. So if my daughters send me pictures of my kids, my grandkids, and there's no doubt they don't do that every day, then I pretty much just print the picture off at the end of the week, any of the pictures that I gather, and then I put them in my memory keeping book, which is a happy planner. I keep it in there, and then when I feel like doing a little decoration and put my photos together and write down some milestones in my grandkids' lives, then I spend a little time doing that. But just as I shared, I've set myself up so that I can just go have the fun and not think of it as a chore. It's just a habit. And this is going to be one of my new habits. I have to be honest, I've never done a whole year study with a deck, maybe a month or two. So I'm pretty excited. All right, you can see I'm kind of committing to laying these guys down now. I think it's kind of funny because I didn't realize I was just sticking the stickers down. And again, there they are. But you can see right here, I actually ended up putting the sticker bottom underneath so that I could better position the stickers on the page. Now you can see I did not do that with the moon on the water card down there in the corner. This page actually comes out just well, let's just say a couple of the stickers are a little crooked because I didn't, again, lay it down where I wanted it and then reposition it. But again, I have to get over the perfectionism because you guys will never notice, and I do. But I've left just enough room to do some journaling around those cards. And I'm going to leave these 2 pages blank as well. But I was pretty spent for the day. I'm going to be honest. I decided that I'm going to take a break and come back the next day. And that's where we're going to pick up right here. I had mentioned that I downloaded some art off of Etsy. Everything that you're going to see today was downloaded from Word Witchery Designs. And again, it'll be linked in the bottom. And this was the in bulk grimoire kit. Basically what I did is I took the art that I paid and downloaded, and I threw it in Canva and then resized it. And you can see right here I'm doing a tip-in. I could not believe that I actually had a washi tape that matched this art so perfectly. And again, I made the colors just a bit darker than what they were. I wanted to make sure that it was matching all the way through. Again, a little journal perfectionism. But again, this is called a tip-in, so I have plenty of room to journal about my deck interview. So what I don't get in now, I should have room for later when I do some reflection work. And you can see I'm just taking my paint palette knife and I'm just pushing in the seam of the book there. Now on the other side, after I got it down, I noticed that I had a little rip right there. You can see where I'm pointing it out. I have since fixed that. I figured I should pull that up and just get it done because it's going to bug me. But these pages are basically for me to journal on the deck interview. Now the next page is, again, this is from the in bulk grimoire kit that I downloaded on Etsy. I did a little manipulation of the design. It's not the exact design that was in the download, but that's the beauty of having Canva, right? I'm just using my Tombow tape runner. This is a permanent tape runner. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but it doesn't matter where, if you guys use these Tombow runners, let me know in the comments. You can see it gets so weird, and I don't know if that's old stock or what, and it doesn't seem to matter if I buy it locally or if I order on Amazon. I still seem to have that same tape runner experience. It's just not that smooth. If there's another brand that you guys are using, let me know in the comments. All right, so what I am doing now is a journal prompt from A Year in the Wildwood, the book. And in the back of the book, there are moon and sun cycle exercises is how it's labeled. And these are for single card readings. You can or cannot use them. There's one for each of the, each season of the Wheel of the Year. And the first one is for in bulk, and that is, you can see right there, I printed it off, which I probably could have just wrote it in, but again, I was setting it up on my sticker sheets. And the prompt is, what is growing in strength in my inner world at this time? And I pulled the ancestor card. Now, I have not looked in the book and read about the ancestor card. I will be perfectly honest. I kind of left this page for myself to, again, I don't think that when you pull a card, you have to immediately write down your first thoughts. I think you can sit with it for a bit. But my first thoughts were, this is interesting because one of the attractions of doing A Year in the Wildwood is that I had found out I had well, I should say my DNA test came back with a lot of Upper British Island heritage, which shouldn't really surprise me because my mom's family is from the Appalachian Mountains, and who settled in the Appalachian Mountains? A lot of Irish, a lot of Scottish. Anywho, so again, this is all just coming full circle because I'm also doing some ancestral grimoire work. I'm working through the book by Nancy Hendrickson. She also did the ancestral tarot. And I'm doing that in my, I guess I call it my spiritual journal. And that's just where stuff ends up. Like, this is specifically for a year in the Wildwood. And then, well, one of the reasons why this journal took so long to come together is because I needed to decide what items I wanted where. And one thing that I had decided is what you're seeing right here. And that is I'm adding in a couple of the decks that I feel support my year in the Wildwood. When I was viewing or listening to the WildWood Tarot study live stream, Richie, who is from Longman Tarot, mentioned that he was going to incorporate a deck into his studies, and I believe it was the Spirit of Nature Oracle. It is I think that's what it was. The deck is illustrated by Will Worthington. Now, Will Worthington is the illustrator of the WildWood Tarot. You also might be familiar with his work. He did the druidcraft tarot, as well as you can see here, I have the Druid Plant Oracle and the Druid Animal Oracle. Yes, I printed out tarot. And yes, that will be changed. I didn't notice until I was reviewing this film that I actually put the Druid Animal Tarot. It is the Druid Animal Oracle. But you can see my two cards that I pulled for the month. So I pulled Juniper. And since Juniper is for cleansing, pioneering, and magic, I thought it only appropriate to buy some juniper sticks for clearing my area. I purchased some juniper berries to spice up my food. And lastly, I found some juniper berry tea online as well. And the next card that I have for this month for the animal is the salmon. And yes, I have to say I partook in a little salmon during the month of February. So good. Now, this is where again, it comes full circle. Now, salmon is wisdom, inspiration, rejuvenation. And there is in the Druid quest, it's always about, it is a quest for wisdom and knowledge, right? And one of the myths that one of the Irish myths that I was reading was about this sacred river and the a sacred well, pool, and it had 9 hazelnut trees growing around it, and their nuts, the nuts of the hazelnut tree, fed the salmon. So this leads me to my next deck, which you're going to see here on the flip side of this page, and that is the Green Man Tree Oracle. Any guesses what my card was from that deck? Well, while we're waiting to find out which one that was, you can see here that I have found another just perfect matching washi tape to use on this spread. In addition to the different decks that I've pulled. I also pulled some of my books from my library. I have a crazy amount of books in my library. I just bought, I shouldn't say I bought, but I rescued 3 huge bookcases, and that's in the works right now. I'm actually moving all of my books from my office here, and we actually have books all over the house stacked up waiting for these shelves to come in. But in that very first video that was prior to this one, I shared some of the books that I pulled from my library, and that is actually where I was reading the mythology of the salmon and the, here it is, hazelnuts. So the tree that I pulled from the Green Man Tree Oracle was hazelnut. And again, you just can't make this stuff up when it happens, right? You just cannot make this stuff up. And now I'm just using my Tombow tape runner to put down another piece of art from the Etsy seller. It was Witchery Designs. That is a tongue twister. I love this picture because every morning, at least for the last few weeks, I have got to look out at my snowbells as well as my mini daffodils, and now my bigger daffodils are starting to bloom. And we're having crazy weather like everyone else in the world. And so I get to see this particular scene many mornings. Little snow on my daffodils. Now the Green Man Tree Oracle, it is out of print. My copy is from Barnes & Noble. And again, I didn't want to buy another deck. I should say I liked the idea of the Spirit of Nature Oracle by Worthington, but I happen to have this one in my collection. And it's, again, you can't make this up. I pulled the hazelnut tree, or hazel, and for the Celts, the hazel is connected with wisdom, and it is, it's the fruit of the tree, and it's known as the food of the gods, and has a very important place in learning. And again, it goes back to that Irish tradition about the sacred salmon who swims in the pool surrounded by 9 hazelnut trees. And when these trees drop their nuts into the water below, the salmon, they would eat them, and then they would carry them to the sea and back on their annual spawning run. So it was this endless cycle that was seen as a metaphor for the passing of wisdom from age to age and from person to person. So salmon were already regarded as sacred in their own right, and just ingesting the fruit of the hazelnut, or the hazel, made them doubly as precious. I think that's so cool, right? So there's a lot of Celtic literature that contains many descriptions of the heroes who, when they ate the flesh of the salmon, therefore got the wisdom of the salmon, and that's what sets them apart from the rest of humanity. So again, just how amazing is it for me to get the hazelnut tree as well as the salmon all in the same month. I can't wait to see what March brings. Anywho, okay, so I am done with my Green Man Tree Oracle page. And I don't know if you saw, I kept flipping back to make sure that I was putting the stickers, the cards in different positions, because I want to make sure that my journal is going to lay flat. And it's just a little trick I learned in planning. is trying to make sure that, you know, I don't put all the stickers like at the top of the page or all the stickers at the bottom of the page, because then you get this weird bump in your journal or in your calendar, your planner. So again, little journaling tip for you. Make sure you're balancing out the pages. I think it also adds a lot of interest as well. So we are starting the shaman page, and the shaman is the hub card. It is called the hub card for this particular part of the wheel. And I enjoyed, I actually left 2 pages for this, for the shaman, because I think I'm going to have a lot to say about him. And you can see I just put my palette knife there behind it to hold its place just in case I needed to reposition it. I've already spent a little time with the shaman, and again, the position on the wheel is he's the hub, and he's opposite the seer. He also is in the location of the wheel, and again, this is in the front of the WildWood book. He's located in the quarter that represents air, which the arrow suit is the air suit, and it embodies aspects of the magic, the protection, and insight. And just looking at his face, you can see that wisdom. And then of course he has, you know, he's wearing the skin, and he's got all 4 of the suits there on the stone, and I'm just looking forward to spending some time with him. Now, this next part you can see, the next part of the study of the Wildwood is the ancestor and the pole star. So I only needed 1 page for each of those, but I was counting the prompts right here for February 1 through 9, which is the Ace of Arrows, which is also the Breath of Life. So I'm definitely going, because there's 5 prompts for this particular week, I guess 9 days. I wanted to make sure that I had 2 pages for it as well. At least 2 pages, because this is where I'm pretty much just gonna stop for the day. Again, that was a lot for 1 day. And I gotta ask y'all, I have not done any real, sit down and really look at the Ace of Arrows, other than to say, when I was printing off this card, does that not look like a baseball diamond? The card there, it looks like a baseball diamond with a hole and then the arrow coming out. Now, again, I know this is about arrows and air, but I'm curious what that is. And I know that the ace embraces just everything of the suit, right? All that is possible in the suit. You can see that I have taken some of my old Happy Planner sticker sheets. These are from, well, the months are from some of the calendar sticker books. And then I found a sheet of numbers to relabel. I believe this is to a mini book, a mini planner. Anywho, I'm going to utilize all of that and use it up. And you can see here I've just added some of my arrow washi tape, and I found that pretty script washi tape and was able to finish the spread. And here it is, ta-da, the finale, the final product. I just love that arrow. So I have my title page, my deck interview pages, plenty of empty space to transfer over my temporary journal writings. Then I have the very first prompt for in bulk, which I pull the ancestor card. I have my pages for juniper, salmon, and hazelnut. The shaman page. I've left room for the pole star and the ancestor. And then this is the first week of February, the Ace of Arrows. Now you can see I've left some blank pages. This is for me just to continue on in my journey in the Wildwood. I've put all the cards and their titles in order of the Wildwood book. You can see where I've got places for my plant, my animal, my tree, and again, what's left of the arrows. And I'm all set up until March 21st. Well, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, and I've left a few other videos that you may want to check out. Thanks for stopping by.